and welcome to a special news round. I've come to Iraq in the Middle East, a country that's been hitting the headlines because of the violence here. I've come to see for myself how what's happening is affecting children not only here in Iraq, but also kids back home in the UK. Iraq is a dangerous place. Hundreds of Iraqis are killed here every week. Many soldiers have died here too. Iraq used to be run by a man called Saddam Hussein. In 2003, Britain went to war and removed him from power. But that hasn't stopped the killing.
I'm afraid of all the fighting in the streets.
Iraq needs to be safer.
The British government says Iraq needs its help to become a safer place. It's a simple idea, but trying to do it is a job that involves thousands of members of the British forces here. Now, we normally think of the armed forces as going out and fighting an enemy, but actually today's mission is something that they say is just as important. They're reopening a school that they spent the last month helping to rebuild. Some Iraqis don't want the British troops here though, so we all have to be careful. We all have helmets and special body armour to protect us. Despite the danger, the troops say it's a job worth doing because it's making life better for Iraqi children and because they want them to see them as friends, not enemies.
It's great. Before we had no electricity. Now the classrooms are much better and we have new desks.
I like it. The school is better because it's much cleaner and much nicer.
It's not just new schools. Here, the armed forces have helped build a new clinic, but still the level of violence has caused thousands to flee the country, like Aya and her brother Mutada.
Many things have happened to us in Iraq. My cousin was killed, and not just him. In a short time, I lost 10 members of my family. It's very hard thinking about it.
I think a lot about my family who are still in Iraq. I worry about them and miss them a lot.
These children in Iraq say lots needs to be done.
On TV, I see children with better lives in other countries. I want life here to be like that.
Lots of us have no electricity here, and the water is dirty. Life here is very hard.
One reason why children are often happy to see the troops, because with the troops come presents, things that might not seem much to you or me, but that make a huge difference. Looking at scenes like this, it's easy to forget that there are some people who don't want the army here. Just 4 days ago, the same group of soldiers we're with came under attack in an area very close to here. But now, just a few days later, they're back because they know it's important to be seen doing things like this, helping out young people here in the area. But even though life can be tough, they still know how to have fun. Of course, like children all over the world, they all love football. But they can't agree on who really is the best team in the world.
Chelsea. Real Madrid. Arsenal.
Some of the people who want British forces to leave Iraq have been using violence to try and get what they want. So the troops here are as careful as possible. But they do know that an attack can come at any place, at any time. The alarm warns that bombs are being fired into the army camp where we're staying. Well, it's about 1:30 in the morning and we heard the alarm and hit the ground as quickly as we could, because sometimes you only get a few seconds notice that there's an attack happening, and we did hear a thump of what sounded like a bomb going off. The camp's well protected and the bombs usually don't cause much damage. This time though, 3 people were injured. To try and stop the attacks, troops go out and patrol the surrounding areas from the ground. Helicopters do the same from the air. But they've also got help of the 4-legged kind. The dog's sensitive noses can sniff out weapons and explosives. They also help keep out people who shouldn't be in the camp. I wouldn't want to be a real intruder because I can feel just how strong his jaws are, even though I'm wearing this special padded training sleeve. And then a few hours later came a reminder of the dangers here. Again, we dived to the ground when we heard the alarm. Tony, our cameraman, managed to hit the record button. Then we heard the sound of a bomb landing not far from us. A few minutes later, when we thought it was safe, we took shelter in a nearby building. It was a very scary experience, but for people here, it's part of their everyday lives. Being here, though, isn't just hard on them. One of the most difficult things for the people out here is knowing that their families are back in the UK, worrying about whether they're okay or not.
Hi, Amy, Fraser, Rebecca and Liz, actually. Just a quick hello from sunny Iraq, as you can see.
It's something that Amy and Fraser think about every day. Their dad Bill is in Iraq for 6 months, so this special video message means a lot. How much do you miss them?
Yeah, a good bit. When it's a bit quieter, a bit more time to think, it does affect you. I suppose it's just more wondering what they're doing, how they're getting on. But you just got to trust them. You know, they'll go on with life.
I think the thing I worry about the most is if something did happen to my dad, how I'd be able to cope with it, because it would be just horrible.
If there is something bad on the news, something about Iraq, you just try to ignore it and think about him coming back safely.
When we next see him again, it'll be really nice, and I just want to hug him for ages, because it won't really sink in that he's actually there until like the next day or something.
It's the same for Dylan, whose older brother is also a soldier in Iraq.
When he told me he wanted to go to Iraq, I felt scared and sad, because things can happen over there, because it's a dangerous place.
I know I'm okay, but they're constantly worrying, and I have to tell them like I'm not hurt or anything. I'm okay. I'm happy. I hope they're proud of me. Like, I think they are proud of me.
When I'm older, I might want to join the army. Might want to join the army like my brother.
Iraq is still a country in crisis. For how long, no one knows.
I want to see a peaceful Iraq. I want to go back to Iraq when it's peaceful.
I want a safe Iraq with no more bad people. I hope for peace.
The armed forces say they're doing everything they can to make that happen, because they know that children in the UK will be looking forward to a time when their elder sisters and brothers or parents can come home because their job is finished. And children here in Iraq will be looking forward to a time when they can grow up in a safe and peaceful country.
The Romans are here.
Jonathan's gone to Rome to find his